Okay, it says it on the screen. You are live. We are live. Welcome, everybody, to Kieran Ma Racing preview of what should be a fantastic weekend of racing. Of course, headlined by the Blue Diamond and Oakley Plate down here. Also got some very exciting runners up in Sydney. And then we go straight into the Inglis Premier Sale, which kicks off on Sunday, which has been a very happy hunting ground for us. So let's welcome the team. David. First, welcoming you, and we can see you this time, which is a good start. Looking very sharp, and looking forward to a very big weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Mikey. Thanks for coming on, guys. Probably the biggest week for us in Victoria for the season. So really looking forward to it. Sales, top racing. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Will Bourne, as Kieran just gets himself set up comfortably there. Will, it's a huge week for you. I mean, it's a huge couple of months for you. You spent so much time out inspecting these yearlings, out at the sales grounds where you were today, and it all comes together on Sunday.
Yeah, it's an exciting time of year, especially with the yearling and the racing, but more so our local sale. The sale kicks off Sunday, and a lot of clients and friends are based in Melbourne. So when everyone comes along to that sale on the Sunday, we're looking at horses, we're buying a few. There's good atmosphere, there's a good vibe, and it's very enjoyable for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, the Sunday is a fantastic day. We will be having a marquee again this Sunday. We'll also be doing an open inspection of yearlings at 9 a.m. So if you want to come and see what our team looks for when they're looking at yearlings, please join us on Sunday out there at Oaklands Junction. And Kieran, it's not just what we buy this Sunday, it's what we're doing in 12 months' time. And we've got a couple that are looking very good, both going into both the Blue Diamond and, of course, El Padrino, a graduate from last year's Premier Sale. In the Skyline Stakes this week. And good. Welcome.
Bit of live TV going on there.
Live broadcast. Well, David, I'll talk to you about that quickly, and then we're going to get in and welcome Joe from our Sydney stable because we've got some really exciting runners there. But El Padrino, a horse like that we bought last year, how exciting is it to see them back up and running 12 months later and all the work that the team put in to get them there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you touch on the Sunday. The Sunday, it is a great day because it's an opportunity for a lot of owners to head out there and actually look at the horses before they go through the ring. And this particular horse, a lot of the owners were able to do that. The Wilsons, the McClures, and others. They were involved in the whole process of the horse from day one, which is, a side of things that we really try and bring. And tell that story right from the beginning. So, from the day he was bought, there were even, a couple of friends who worked for Coolmore who were there that day, took a share in the horse, and they all got together, and it culminated in them being there when he won at the beginning, at the end of the last year. So, that's the real experience. It's the full experience. It's being there on race day. But being there from day one when the hammer goes down, I think you can't get better than that. So horses like him, amongst others, are really what we're trying to create.
Yeah, absolutely. Kieran, is this one of the more exciting times of the year for you? You're looking ahead to the future, but, we're seeing what we did last year and, 12 months, 24 months ago on the track, competing in these feature events.
Yeah, definitely. All parts of the year are exciting, but... Yeah, there's nothing like selecting the new crop and seeing, the autumn is probably it's probably the pinnacle for the 2-year-olds. So, if you're lucky enough to be, competing in those races, there's a lot of excitement around for sure. So, it's a super time of year, and Melbourne sale's always it's our local sale and one that's always a lot of fun, especially on the Sunday.
Absolutely. Guys, keep your questions coming in the comments below, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. We've got some of these very comfy and very cool Kieran Ma Racing hoodies that are on the merch store. So we'll be giving a couple of those away. We've also got these racing cards. Don't mind what's going on in the background. We've also got some
having housemates.
Yes. We've also got some Coolangatta cards, which are really cool, commemorating her wonderful win in the Magic Millions. So, David, I'll let you do your own security in your house, mate. That's beyond my control. So, yeah, keep those questions coming in. We've got plenty of prizes. But for next, I would like to welcome Joe. Joe Gerard Dubourg is our assistant trainer up in Sydney. He mans everything up there. And Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Excellent. Joe loves doing
Hi, Joe.
live TV, so he's really happy to be here. But no, he does a fantastic job up there. And Joe, I wanted to kick off with a horse that hasn't actually made it to the races yet, but we saw the second trial this week in Greece. There is a lot of hot anticipation about her first start next week.
Yeah, she's very exciting, obviously. She trialed really well twice. She's very well bred, very good looking filly. She's got a good attitude. So it'd be good to get her started next week in a Yearling.
Kieran, you were up there. You saw her work. What did you make of it?
Yeah, no, she's that's probably not ideal. She's what you'd hope, I suppose, when you purchase a horse for that amount of money with a pedigree like that. As we know, it doesn't always work out. But she's got a lot of characteristics of her sister. She's very big, very strong, and as much as you can, it's all sort of a curb for the day. But as much as we can see, she does everything we've asked of her so far, very easy, and she's a pretty exciting filly.
Excellent. All right. Well, one of the reasons we are here tonight is to help try and find the punters out there some winners. So we're going to run through our Sydney runners. We'll kick off with El Padrino, as I mentioned, selected at last year's Melbourne Premier Sale. Has been excellent so far. Really good, tough run out when stuck out wide last time. And Joe comes into this race. He's had a little break between last time.
Yeah, just a quick freshen up for a week. I went to the paddock for a week and he's been back here after that. Had a nice gallop last Saturday. He looks really well.
Excellent. Should relish the ground.
He will love the ground. Obviously, his first start at Cranbourne was on an extremely heavy track, so there should be no issue for him.
We might need to apply a snorkel to the runners at Randwick there on Saturday, but he's certainly got his flippers already.
We might get a quick weather update. Has it stopped raining up there, Joe?
It stops for about 2 minutes and it starts again, and it's been all week, and it's going to be a genuine heavy track on Saturday.
Okay, as it tends to be in Sydney at this time of year. Another really interesting runner we've got is Through Irish Eyes, who's second up. Certainly did enough first up over the mile, steps up to 2,000 meters here.
That would suit him obviously a bit better. He was very good first up over a mile, had to go back from a wide barrier. There wasn't much space in the race, but he was very good late. He would be better suited this time. 3 weeks in between runs, and he's done well since.
Kieran or David, what do you say is a nice target race for Through Irish Eyes? Won the St. Ledger from memory on Anzac Day last year.
Kieran?
The Melbourne Cup would be a nice target for him. Got a few hurdles to get over before we get there. He's a 3-year-old that he obviously had a successful 3-year-old year, and he was a very unfurnished horse. So we give him a long break, and he should be able to race all year. I would think will space his runs. He's a lovely stayer. He's still maturing, and J-Mac couldn't have been happier with his first up run. So I think he's in for a really good campaign.
Excellent. We've got a question via email from Julian Kennett here. Seems all but certain Coolangatta won't run this Saturday given the track conditions. What is the plan should that occur? Could a trial on better ground be enough to put the polish on her for the slipper? Or is that decision yet to be made?
She's a very natural, athletic, clean-winded filly. She doesn't need a lot of work or racing, and she's shown that she's not quite at home on soft tracks, so heavy's not ideal. And maybe on slipper day we would roll the dice, but certainly wouldn't roll it beforehand. And there possibly she'll be entered in a few trials She may trial, she may not. It's not imperative that she does or doesn't. I'm pretty happy with where she's at.
Okay. We've also got a tweet from David Pettigrew saying expectations for Labelle on Saturday. Winner at 2400 in France on soft ground. Joe?
Yeah, that was as a 3-year-old. That was a while ago. Obviously, he hasn't been racing much. He's only had 2 starts in the last 12 months. But he does handle the track, and obviously we'll have to see how he runs on Saturday, because we're still learning about him too. But should see a positive run from him.
Okay, Joe, we're going to put you on the spot before you go. What's your best for Saturday's runners at Sydney?
Both El Padrino and Ferrari Charles could run really well.
Okay, back in both. All right. Well, Joe's doing a fantastic job up there with the Sydney team. Our horses are flying, and we're getting to the pointy end when the attention really starts to turn to Sydney in the next few weeks. So we'll be seeing plenty more of Joe. Joe, take care. Good luck. We'll see you soon. All right.
See you, Joe.
Will, it's your time to shine. We're talking Inglis Premier sale that we've done very well at before. We're a couple of sales into the season. Is there anything that sort of stood out? Anything that you can sort of give our viewers a little push? Any sires that have sort of taken your fancy? Any trends that you've sort of noticed across the Magic Millions and the Sydney sale?
Just get in now, because horses just seem to be getting more and more expensive as the sale season goes on. We all thought, as we say every year, we all thought Magic Millions was expensive, but we go to some of these lesser sales and they're making more, the same, if not more money. And the market's so buoyant and vibrant at the moment. Yeah, I'll just if you're thinking about getting in, get in, because the more we go on, the more prices go up. And in terms of stallions, we obviously really like the Trapeze R's first seasons. Didn't mind the written buys. They were really hard to get your hands on though. Coming off a modest service fee. I think they were flying around the 300-400s at Magic Millions. So we were thereabouts, but really couldn't get our hands on one. There's a few really nice ones here in Melbourne, so we'll see how they sell and if we're in the market. But yeah, overall, it's a golden era of, I think Henry Field said that on racing.com. The industry's so vibrant, and it's great to be a part of at the moment.
Certainly is. One thing I've noticed just going through the record books, particularly with us at Melbourne Premier Sale, is the various price points that we've been able to sort of have some success at. What do you think? I mean, we're obviously here to serve clients at the top end, at the sort of cheaper end. But what is it that allows us to identify them sort of across the board like this, other than your just good eye?
Well, Melbourne Sale actually gives you a big range of horses. Because you have people that treat it as a second and third tier sale, but other vendors like local vendors and Perth vendors treat it as their main sale. Neville Duncan sends all his best horses over here from Melbourne, and that's seen Kieran and Aqua's team up and purchase a horse like Bruckner. That was in that Stallion Fund price point that made a lot of money, and he came second in the Cornwall to Home Affairs. And then if you go right to Book 2. Kieran purchased a horse called Yearling going for 18,000 for a first season sire. So there's a horse for everyone at this sale, and it reaches a lot of people and a lot of vendors, and a lot of vendors treat it as a different selling point for their horses, as I said.
Absolutely. One for David. Our record in these Inglis restricted races is pretty exceptional. There have been 9 run over the last 3 years. We've won 4 of them. Obviously, we do a good job selecting them. What goes into sort of planning and targeting them at these races? And Inglis have obviously added the pink bonus as well now. So there's a lot of incentives. There are a lot of these races for really good prize money in restricted class. What does it take to get these horses there? Because they do need to be early in a lot of these races to get them there.
Yeah, they do. They need to be early, obviously, for the 2-year-old races before Christmas, and you've got to identify those races and work back. But I think it's also credit to the backroom staff and the race planners as well, in actually targeting the 3-year-old races and the English 3-year-old races. They're probably not the most obvious in the calendar, but we're always scanning. We know exactly where they are. We continue to obviously keep in mind which sale those horses, which sale those horses are bought from, and sometimes that can get a little bit lost once they miss the 2-year-old bonus races, but we really focus on it. We've got a couple of really nice horses racing in the English Sprint Saturday week, which is, look, it's a 750 grand race. It's worth more than some Group 1. So it's very, very important to keep track of that. And I think it goes, a lot of planning goes into it.
Got a couple of questions from the audience here. Going to give out some hoodies now. Christian at Bleasner says, when looking at the horses at upcoming sales, do you put any extra value into the stock of sires or dams that you trained previously? As you may already know a little bit about them. Kieran, I'll go to you on that one.
Yeah, you do. Obviously, especially if they've been successful, you know the characteristics you're looking for. So you look for them in the young horses. And if you see them, you're going to be naturally attracted to them than something you don't know. But yeah, having known a lot about the particular horses, if they've got them, yeah, for sure. And usually they're quite highly sought after, especially if they've been successful.
Crystallized and Crystal Bound's a really good example of that, Kieran. You really like the older sister. Crystal Dynasty probably actually hasn't hit the sites that we thought she would, but you really liked her early and was a big reason why you then bought Crystal Bound at the Magic Million sale. Yeah,
that's dead right. And she targeted some of those Inglis races as well. And a horse like Jamaica, we went back and bought Grand Slam was an obvious one. So, yeah, answer to the question is yes, you do.
All right. We've got a little one from Xavier Stevens here. Will, this is your time to shine. Any good yearlings from the Magic Million sales that are already looking good? Anything we've got some small shares left in you want to push Xavier into here, Wilbur?
I'm going off Adrian Corboy, who always has a very good opinion on the horses, but he's taken a shine to the trapeze artists. He thought they were a little bit hot when you first get them there, but they're really taken to training and they're very tough and they're good doers. So actually, he just sort of pushed me into all those horses.
Very good judge is Adrian Corboy, our breaker up there. We'll be up there again next week, getting some updates from those horses from Magic Millions and also Classic. All right, let's move on. Up next, we are going to have a look at the Blue Diamond. All right, so this is 12 months on from buying them. We get them here. Kieran, firstly for you, it's a little bit different this year. We don't have the pressure or as much of the pressure as we did with an even money favourite like last year, but we've got two really good colts here lining up at decent prices. Let's start off with Hafey, who's probably the X factor in the field coming off a maiden win.
Yeah, I suppose the pressure is not the same with the favourite, but we put as much pressure on ourselves because we obviously haven't won this race yet. We've been around the mark, so hopefully this year's the year. Hafey, he's bought by the Victorian Alliance and, lovely horse. We just kicked him off soft at Bendigo. It was exactly what we sort of hoped and wanted out of the run. He let down. He had a great experience. And obviously won with a leg in the air. So he bounced through that run really well and he's come on. So in terms of prepping a young horse for a target race, he's had, two trials. He's had a soft win and now he's going into his target race. So he's got a sense of timing around him. Albeit he's going to be a little bit inexperienced, but he's got a bit of X factor. Everything he does, he seems to do relatively easy. He's quite fit. And, Craig's obviously sat on him race day. He rode him again on Tuesday. And he's very happy with how he felt and just thought he'd come on in leaps and bounds, which, we thought he'd had. So pretty exciting horse and, one that's at nice odds as well.
Yeah, wide barrier, but you do tend to get genuine tempos in these rich 2-year-old races, though, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You see a lot of horses that probably are just a shade off the, not right in the firing line. They generally can overcook it a little bit some years, and they're the ones that just get in that sweet spot, just getting the suck run and and really bang off the turn. So hopefully he's it. Count the Headlights, similar. He'll really relish getting back to the 1,200 metres. He won at 1,200 first up. He went back to the 11. I thought it was a solid effort. And, he'll really appreciate, having that second run. He's a big burly fella that needs racing, and the 2-week turnaround's ideal for him, and back to the 1,200's ideal as well. So he's got a slightly better gate. Probably be maybe a pair or two closer, and again he's in that. It's a pretty even race this year. He's definitely got an each way chance for sure.
Yeah, David, I thought, as Kieran mentioned, it was the 1,100 last time. He was strong through the line though.
Yeah, he was. Exactly right. And I think he'll be better for having a look around Caulford as well. He's quite a big horse, and had have taken plenty from that. Had a horse around him, and the penny sort of dropped a little bit late. So hopefully he's able to just get into a slightly better rhythm. And as you say, back up to 1,200, he should finish off pretty well.
All right, we're going to have a look at the card at Caulfield, and we're going to kick off with the Oakley Plate, which sees 3 of our girls going around in Bella Nipotina, Away Game, and Marabi. And I wanted to introduce Georgia Johnson, who runs Fingal, where all 3 of those horses are kept. She's a very proud mum. Very proud mum sending 3 girls to a Group 1. How are you, Georgia?
Good. How are you?
Very good. George's name has been mentioned many times after we have a winner from Fingal, so we thought it was good to put a face to a name. And just getting a little bit of background noise there. That's okay. It sounds like you've got some pictures. Georgia, how are the girls? We've got a photo that you sent through of the 3 of them hanging out. Just tell us a little bit about each of them and their personalities.
Well, they all have huge personalities. They make me laugh every day. Away Game's probably the funniest. She's hilarious. And then Marabi, she walks around. She's like, yeah, hi, blah, blah, blah. What's that? And then Bella, she can have a bit more sass when she wants to. But all in all, their personalities are huge.
We've got some pictures of them there. They share a yard down there.
Yeah, they're the 3 best friends.
God, facing off against each other.
Yeah.
Kieran, how are you feeling? Now, we talked about pressure. We've got a picket fence here going with Marabi. Does that add some pressure?
No, not really, but we just aim to have them spot on. I suppose you would like to keep that going for as long as we can. Probably not as much pressure as her owner's feeling, Greg Perry. I'm sure he'd be definitely walking the box for the next few nights until the race. But yeah, she's a very exciting horse. On the track, she never... she's not an obvious horse on the track. When I say on the track, early in the morning and in the trials and stuff like that. But, certainly on race day, every time we've lifted the bar, she's come right to the party. And, she's going into her biggest task in really good order. Ben Allen knows her really well, and he was very taken with her piece of work and just the way she was moving and her general demeanour on Tuesday. So, I took a lot of heart from that. And G seemed to think she was bouncing around post that down there at Fingal. So.
Oh, we like to hear that. Now, Will, you were instrumental in securing Bella Nipotina for the stable. How impressed have you been with sort of the way that she's been able to develop? Obviously, we talk about Fingal being a great property and venue to sort of let these horses show their best. But from the horse that you identified early last year to the one that we see today, what's most impressed you?
Georgia and Kieran and Dave really make you look good. You identify these horses and they change up their training, really get them switched on sound and just put them in a happy happy place. But yeah, she's in great form, and she's gonna give something come Saturday. But then again, all 3 mares will. She's got great owners, as does Marabi, Greg Perry, and Hannah Matheson with the Way Game, and Mick Johnson, Tim Porter, and Michael Christian with Melanie Patina. And I really think coming around the corner, I don't know where you're going to look, because I think they've all got great chances, and they're all in really good vein of form. And I think it's actually a really exciting race. And I actually don't know, but to looking at all 3 of our mares, they're all really good owners. I want them all to win for all the owners, but yeah, it'll be interesting coming around the corner.
We'll put you on the spot in a second. David, Away Game. She got really close to Marabi.
Yeah,
she's going to get the speed on. Should be a fascinating
As Will
race.
said, you could, I think if we went to the races with one of each, you'd go there with thinking you had a great chance of winning. So 3 is just incredible. But the handicappers and the statsmen, they'll be looking at Away Game, and for sure, she's got a 6 kilo swing, which is a huge amount, and ran Marabi very close to the half length, and there'll be similar tempo on Saturday for her. So it looks like it'll set up well for her. It'll set up well for Marabi from her gate, and it'll suit Bella too. So yeah, as Will said, you won't know which way to watch, and let the best girl win.
All right. I will get your selections in 1 second. First, going to introduce you to a couple of new friends of Georgia's down at Fingal. Georgia, if you could just introduce them and tell us their names.
So, is there a photo going to come up?
It is up there, yeah.
So Dave is the little tabby, and Kieran is the little black kitten.
And how did you decide their names?
Well, Dave decided the names. I said I want to call them Kieran and Dave, and he picked which one.
That's not strictly true.
I heard Kieran sleeps all day. The cat.
Dave caught his first mouse the other day.
Okay, congratulations, David.
I'm
the
female.
In all seriousness, it is a fantastic job you do down there. The horses, whenever you go to visit them, they're just happy, healthy horses down there. And in fact, Kieran, I did just see earlier today a little story pop up in the Warrnambool Standard that we may have purchased a property, not similar, but similar sort of style in Berry, New South Wales.
Yeah, that's right. I've been looking for a number of years, and just to have the same facilities in Sydney, so we can travel our horses, and they're in a similar environment to what we have available to them here in Victoria. So yeah, it was a long and arduous process, but yeah, it's a lovely property, and one we've got to do a fair bit of work to in terms of development, but it's got the right sort of characteristics and aspects, I suppose, what I look for in a training property. And yeah, very excited to get it going, and it'll open up a lot of different options for different horses. When we talk about especially 3 mares like those 3 horses that are down at Fingal, if they go into a sort of city environment, not that they can't handle it, but it's certainly different. And a lot of times, if you can keep them in the same environment, they're going to be much better off. So yeah, it's pretty exciting, and really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, Georgia, it's time to decide. It's time to pick between you girls who is going to win the Oakley Plate.
Very hard to split. I think the trifecta.
Oh, that is a cop out. Yeah, I would be taking that. All right, fine. We'll let you off the hook because they are your children down there. So that's all right. Georgia, thank you for that. And thank you for all the hard work you do down there. You do a fantastic job at Fingal, and we just keep cranking winners out of there. So, Kieran, we'll need to find another Georgia for Barry.
Well, they're not that hard. They're not that easy to find, actually.
They are not. Thanks, Georgia.
See ya. Thanks.
See you, Jake.
Hey, Georgia.
I know if one horse was going to start a fight in the mountain yard, it would be Ballinipatina, the fiery redhead.
She certainly is that. We've got another question here. How do you decide where horses, here we go, from Daniel Armstrong on Facebook, how do you determine which horses go to which facility? E.g., why would you have a horse from a train at Ballarat rather than Cranbourne, Warwick Farm? We are very lucky to have all these locations. Kieran.
Yeah, it's just slightly different environments. So every horse has different characteristics. They're put together differently. They're much the same as people. And you just got to find that little niche in each horse and where they're going to be happiest. You know, a horse might need a bit of extra work. They seem to cover a few extra miles at Ballarat, just getting to and from the track. You know, we have different facilities available, as in they can live with other horses in a yard environment. Sometimes some colts do really well there. You've got all the tools at hand, as in hill tracks, treadmills, pool, and young horses do really well there as well. There's a great sort of integration system there for a horse that's just come from a breakers. Similarly, you might have a horse like that might have some feet trouble, so they're generally down at Fingal on the sand, and generally at Cranbourne, there can be that little bit more atmosphere. There's a lot more horses there, and if you need to bring a horse on, it might be very relaxed in its attitude or something like that. That can be the spot for them.
Right. Absolutely. As I said, we are lucky. All right, let's run through a couple of the other races on Saturday. Kick off with Generation in the Zetative Stakes Group 3. Ultra impressive last start. A couple of little unknowns, or not unknowns, but little X factors in terms of competition this start. But how's he been since that win, Kieran?
He's been super, actually. He was a little soft going into his first up run, and I thought Jai rode him very well and just waited. He obviously bounced well, travelled right up on the speed, and he just waited halfway down the straight until he pushed the button and looked like he was sort of going to be under siege there for a little bit. But it was how he rode him, and because of that, the horse, well, fortunately he won, but the way he won, he was full of running, and because of that, pulled up very well, bounced through the run, and has really come on in his work. Ben Mallam sat on him the other morning, and he was very taken with him. And just the way he was moving, he's come right on in the coat. Obviously, we take on a few new rivals. The Hawks runner, obviously, Jai's jumped onto, doesn't fill you with confidence when the jockey jumps ship. But
Well, let's talk to Reese about
that. Jamie obviously knows Generation very well, and is riding in fantastic as well. So I don't think we lose anything there. So only a small field, but I'm pretty confident that he's come on enough. And I just think he's a really progressive horse, and we've just taken him along. We haven't dropped him in the deep end anywhere, but I think with every run he just gains in confidence.
David, the Autumn Classic, it's a Group 2, and talking of dropping him in the deep end, Kako Wong and El Zami both stepping up quite a bit here, but this is the sort of race where you can see horses make that leap. It's not the strongest Group 2 you'll find. Let's start off with Wongy. They'll absolutely lift the lid off Mahjong on Fitzroy Street, St Kilda, if he gets up. And John Allen will not need to pay for a dumpling for many years. How's he gone since what was not a bad fourth at Flemington after winning his first 2 races?
Yeah, he ran well at Flemington. Just took a little bit of time to get over that run. He's obviously had a bit of time in between, had a jump out, and he definitely, he's a progressive colt. Probably needs a little bit more racing. I think this will bring him on again. He is quite a good doing colt. He's quite laid back. So he's probably, a runaway, but still a horse to look out for. He's probably going to be bang on for the Outslark at Mooney Valley over 2,000 in 3 weeks. But as you say, it's a Group 2 in name, but it's a lot of horses looking to find out whether they really stay and are going to get to 2024 in derbies in the autumn. So you've got horses like Hearman, Elzami, who are winners or might have won a couple of races. We've got an opinion on both. Elzami was pretty unlucky not to win at the Valley the other day. He got a typical Valley run. He just got held up at vital stages, but hit the line very hard, and he's come on for that. So I think both got really nice each-way chances. Probably both are a runaway and looking for 2,000, but a big field probably in a similar boat. So lean towards Elzami, probably strips a little bit fitter, having had a run closer to Saturday, and Wongy for next time.
All right. Will, a question from Elise Johnson here, I believe in reference to the Oakley Plate. Whose party would be more fun? This is really putting you on the spot.
Out of all three of the winners.
Yeah.
Well,
the away game they might fly to America.
Pretty easy
Yeah. Well, the only owners that will be there will be Bowers, so that's an easy option if the party's going to be that night. But if I have to venture over to California, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a hard-working man. He's
You
just
say, I think Greg will be pretty safe in third there.
Yeah. Greg would be happy with probably 34.
He'd be very happy, but he wouldn't be quite as wild.
He's probably happy with a Fountain Road at home.
I think we might be seeing Greg there on Saturday, so that would be interesting. Be very good, and he'll be there to see Bonvicini as well, who goes around in the mannerism at a very big price, Kieran.
Yeah, it's another one of Greg's mares that he's bred, and possibly the most unluckiest horse in the stable. She runs a lot of good races in a lot of, quite strong stakes races. And she gets one every now and again, but does seem to run into a bit of trouble for whatever reason. She has prepped up really well. She generally takes a run or two to hit her straps. She only had a short turnaround from the spring, so I think she's probably over the odds, but generally takes a run or two.
Have you spoken to the track manager yet? Last time we were at Caulfield, it played very evenly, unless you speak to Pete Moody. But, you did get your chance down the outside, rails out. Any sort of idea as to whether we'll get that leader's bias? Or
I think Tim Bailey, I thought he'd done a very good job. Caulfield traditionally has been a very firm deck, and I think they got it pretty right. Whether there was or wasn't an inside bias.
Tofano and Lighthouse didn't seem to have a problem with it.
No, exactly. But so I thought he'd done a fantastic job. I think it's the club has instructed Tim to present a horse, the Tracker 5 on those summer days, and it always improves to a 3 throughout the day. So I think it's a great initiative, and I thought they got it pretty right last time.
All right, last one we'll have a look at is the Group 2 Armanasco Stakes 2. Really consistent, tough fillies of ours, Lavish Girl and Decent Rain. David, I'll start with you here. I'll give you Decent Rain, who probably just went a little bit quick last time. Is that right?
Not quick enough. She got a fairly soft lead out in front, and probably just needed kick in the belly a little bit sooner. Very, very tough filly, probably as tough a 3-year-old filly as we got in the stable at the moment. She's been in work forever. She had won a maiden in August and continues to improve. So I thought it was not a bad run, and Kieran was really happy with her work on Tuesday at Cranbourne. We thought it was as good a work from her as he'd seen. So she's very hardy, and she'll give her all. And Lavish has had a little freshen. She trialled pretty well last week. Worked nicely on Tuesday. Having had a freshen up, it's probably going to come on slightly for the run. To be honest, I think the favourite's going to be very hard to beat. It's as good a win as you'll see from a long way back the other day in Argentia. She looks very, very smart. But she's got to turn around 2 weeks. She hadn't run for it close to a year. It's a big ask. And if she's not able to do that, then they'll both be giving their all.
All right, we've got another question. This is from Julian Kennett on YouTube. He said, I'll throw this one out to Will, actually. Who tends to handle their nerves better on big race day occasions out of David and Kieran?
Well, they're both pretty similar. They both probably look for a cheeky little dart if they're very nervous.
That's the telltale sign.
That's the telltale. If you see him out the back just sort of staring at the ground, you know they're expecting something big. But they're probably both pretty even. I'd actually say they're both very good losers, more than actually nervous pre-race. So that's one thing.
Well, unfortunately, we lose a lot.
How about that?
I'd say
this year.
I remember I was very young working for Russell Cameron, and he used to throw up while doing up the girth. So that was my benchmark. So they're nowhere near him.
All right, no pre-race spews, David or Kieran, recently.
Could be for different reasons.
maybe before an annual. For a couple of reasons.
Yes, that's day 3 at Warrnambool by then. And make sure whoever can make the trip to the Bull this year will be back and better than ever with full crowds in attendance. All right, I think we're almost done. We're just going to do a couple more questions before we're done. David Coe, great owner, got lots of shares in horses. With this, how soon after breaking in do you know that a 2-year-old is a good one? I don't know if he means early or just good.
Well, I suppose the obvious ones are just that. They're very obvious. Like a horse like Coolangatta or Anthar, they're basically your jukebox. They knew what they were doing as soon as, I would say, Adrian put the saddle on them. He gave most of them a pretty big push to say, they were nice horses. Merchant Navy, he was a little bit later, but he was a late foal. So the real top liners tend to let you know pretty early, especially 2-year-olds. But yeah, a horse like maybe, a Derby horse, like a horse like Ruthven or Explosive Jack, they're equally as good a horses, or maybe better. But, you don't sort of see much from them their whole 2-year-old year. They just sort of keep progressing, flying under the radar, and then as a 3-year-old or a late 2-year-old, they'll start to really show their hand then.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job breaking them up there, and he just normally got a good idea. Last time I was up there 2 weeks ago, he had a busted lip after taking on a feisty horse that he was working with, and that was his favourite horse up there. So he doesn't mind getting his hands dirty, 80 up there. All right, this is a slightly different one. This is from Michael Gretsch. Michael, you're going to get a hoodie for this. Who is your favourite horse? But he says if you take one home after they retire. So doesn't need to be talent on the track, but just who's your favourite horse to deal with? David? It's pretty straightforward for you, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I think horse, if you're going to take him home as well, a horse like Heart of Passance, he's just got the most incredible nature. Just a very, very kind horse. He's still a colt. Most colts his age aren't, and for not through ability, but they might get a bit unruly, but you wouldn't know it. He's very eager to please, he's a beautiful mover, and he's just a lovely big scopy horse. If you took him home, you could put anyone on. So I'll go with him.
Well, you can give us a quick Heart of Passance update. I had an injury last year when he was travelling really well. How's he coming along?
Yeah, he's good, touch wood. Injury-prone horse. Obviously, disappointing. You probably haven't sort of seen the best of him, but he's back galloping. Had a first gallop back on the grass, just on the bridle last week. Probably 3 weeks off jumping out. So, a race like the Warrnambool Cup again, if he was ready in time, be a great race to target for him. Loves a wet track.
Will, who'd you like to take home? Horses.
Saw the boy.
Oh yeah.
Pop down. Saw the boy, very cool horse. Riding at the beach, you think you're in Yellowstone. The big long rein with the two things hanging out as he's power walking through. After watching it the night before, he's a very cruisy. He tries his hardest. he's a bit of a dude. So, and he's that novelty grey as well. So yeah, it would have to be him.
You could keep running if you had Rip after you as well.
Kieran, who are you taking home?
He's an oldie, but he's a goodie. He's former Great Eastern winner, Penacolo. He's a stable pony up there in Sydney, and not many people would know what he's actually achieved. He's a great horse. I think he was Maccabi Diva's galloping partner for a lot of his early career, and then he ended up in our stable. And he holds a special place on the mantelpiece in Colin and Janice's place with Oakbank Great Eastern there. He's just a cruisy horse. He would jump anything you put in front of him, and he's a lovely horse to ride. Big black horse, and a bit of a cruiser.
All right. A couple of questions for some runners coming up. How Done Dirt Cheap going in on Sunday?
Going well. Gallop Tuesday, runs at Ballarat. Hopefully we can, he's a horse we think will progress through the grades over some ground. So had a couple of slight issues, but he seems back on track, and hope you can get a sort of confidence boosting win. JL on back on board, top of the ground. Should run well.
All right. I'm just trying to find it because we did have a question about Let's Crack a Deal here, who goes around in Canberra tomorrow. Can't find it, but great to have that horse back at the track.
Yeah, he's been a long time off. He's had a couple of little wind operations. He hasn't put a lot of weight on, but he looks he doesn't carry much at all. He's like a Kenyan runner, but he looks fantastic in the coat, and I think we found a super little race to kick off his campaign. It's very restricted, and he's going to be a lot highly rated, but equally weighted to a lot of horses in the race. So I think he's got a great chance, and he's in really good order. And he's been a while off the scene, but he's prepped up really well.
Yeah, that's race 9, I think, at Canberra tomorrow, and very well placed there. Set weights.
I think he's an 80 rater, and the next one is rated 64. So we've found the right race to kick him off anyway.
All right, I'll get your best for the weekend before we finish. Hello, Chaz. David, your best for the weekend.
We should say that the man in the background is actually our vet as well. So it's
he is indeed
part of
he's a very important part of it.
Lucky enough to see him with his shirt on and his shirt off. So.
Give the people what they want.
He's obviously very eager to get on, Dave or Mikey.
Yeah.
We probably
I know.
We want a cheeky cameo.
Yeah, we'll get his best for the weekend. Will, your best for the weekend?
Best for the weekend, Generation.
Okay, Kieran.
Cool.
Yeah, I was going to go Generation, but
just down a spark for Jai and Reese.
I'll go Marabi.
David, if they've taken
both
the
of
two
mine,
short,
both of mine have just been said. It's stiff. Back Eldami, the place. I think he's massively over the odds. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. Just a quick reminder, if you are heading out there on Sunday, or even if you're not heading out to the Melbourne Inglis Premier Sale, we've made it easier than ever to stay up to date with what we buy. All you need to do is go to the link that I've just posted below on Facebook and YouTube, put your details in. You can let us know if you're coming out. We'll cater for you. And if you can't make it there, we send SMSs out basically as soon as we buy these horses. So you can select what price range you're after, whether you want fillies or colts, all of that. And you'll find out as soon as we buy it. And you don't want to miss out because, as Will said, this has been one of the hottest markets you will find. So, guys, good luck for the weekend. And to everyone out there, have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy the racing. And hopefully we found you some winners.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Mikey. Thanks, guys.
Great stuff. We'll see you out there on Saturday if you're at the races and at Inglis on Sunday. Cheers, guys.